behind actually, because I was going to do this last week when last episode dropped. But this is fine. This is partly fine. I had a lot of stuff I was doing the week prior, and okay. And this actually is more fitting because as we're counting down, as we're counting down to the final hour, because as I'm making this video, episodes 8 and 9, the grand finale, is going to be taking place tonight at approximately 9 p.m. And, well, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. I think that's how they say they do it. But, yeah. This makes total sense. I'll try to get the finale covered next week, maybe. Hopefully. It just took me a while to get to this. So, where I left off was episode 5. And let's get into it. Episode 6. Which starts with... Where is the... Okay. This, of course, is where we start. So we're not on the road at this point in time. We're actually in a flashback. We're apparently learning more about Billy's character and who he was as a person. And so, surprisingly, everything starts off with his bar mitzvah. Which, he gets everything ready, pulls out his cabinet, which is Great Tree of Life, and apparently also a parallel to MCU's Yggdrasil, and does the recite. From what I've heard, it's quite actually was. A lot of people said praise it was really good. Also, this is really good. The fact that we're actually getting points for this on how Billy is being shown and represented perfectly as he's Jewish American. And he's also gay, and that's, wow, a double entendre. It's lovely. Anywho. And then we cut to the party, in which he's trying to enjoy himself, trying to have a good time. He is really staying hopeful to how he is and who he's hoping to be. And curiously gets the better of him as he's exploring the party. He enters this fortune teller tent, and lo and behold, he meets Lilia right out the gate. Which is more or less surprising because it's like showing that this world, all of this, since the beginning of the episodes, it's all been interconnected. Everyone on this great road, whether it's the witch's road or whether in itself, essentially the road of life. How it twists and turns, Anywho. So, this is Lillian, his first encounter. She decides to read his fortune for him, using his hand. She starts to see things out of sequence, starts to see bits and pieces of other things that's going to be happening to him soon. That's literally when she said that how his life is divided. Like the lifeline, there's an abrupt end in between, from one going to the next. Which, like in Matrix mode, that's as the Arca would say, and then you're asking me, what? But then she'd be like, you already know the answer. You're not the one. You're waiting for something. Much like Billy here is waiting for something. He just doesn't know it yet. And so then we also realize that she's the one who writes the sigil, because she realizes he's going to need this after everything. Of course, she's going to forget she put it on him, and he's not going to know that in front of her and everyone else later, better witches, they can't hear his name. And then suddenly, after all this, he leaves the tent, and then they get a report about something going crazy in Westview, because this is taking place in the other town, Eastview. Which they had to leave abruptly, and as we see, this was in the final moments of WandaVision, in which apparently, this is right as soon as Agatha and Wanda are done fighting, things are going crazy. Billy's parents lose control of the car. It winds up hitting a tree. And in those final moments, he hits the window and bleeds out. And this, of course, is unfortunately the abrupt end of Billy as he knows his life, or William. And as he's fading out, he hears Wanda calling out saying goodnight to her sons. And this latches onto him as the hex comes down, awakening him into Billy Kaplan instead of William Kaplan. Because at this point in time, he is now in his second life. His first life has been abruptly ended through all the chaos, and he comes back. Fractured, but still alive. And this leads to a few moments later being taken to the hospital. Oh, and guess who was on the scene at the time of that? Yeah, apparently Alice, of all people, was the one who got the call to help bring Billy to safety. Which ironically is in her area, because again, she's the protection witch. So yeah, Detective Wu at the time, before her abrupt firing, and ending up at Hot Topic. Yeah. Anyway, going back to them. So yeah, they are relieved that their son's been recovered and is in recovery. Only problem is, as soon as they take him home after the accident, Billy Maximov's mind is kind of abruptly into his. And so that part of him is hearing out all their thoughts and feelings and everything else all at once. And it's overwhelming him to where he's yelling at them to stop, to just let him be for a moment. And he tries to regain some composure as he heads up to his room to try to think things out. Of like, where can he go from here? And then cut to a couple of time after that, he ends up patching things with his current boyfriend, where they end up having a very sweet moment, and he actually flat out tells him everything about how he's been feeling, who's clashing with inside him. All of it just spills right out. But at least for him, he knew deep down, of all things, he needed someone to latch onto, someone to help him. And that's when he starts piecing things together about like what happened that day when he's supposed to have died. That's when he got bits and pieces of like this rune magic, this and that. And he calls out to somebody who might have been there. And lo and behold, who ends up helping him is, of course, old Ralph Boner, which I knew he'd be back. I had a feeling in my own mind, and I kept questioning it. It's like, where did he go? If Agatha kept the house, where the hell is he? And I knew it. I flat out knew he'd be back. And so to help his professional career, he bribes them and, well, has them in the transaction Oh, sorry. Ay, ay. That must have happened when my mic faded out. Can you hear me now? Okay, right. Where was I? Oh, right. Okay, so leading up to this, I already talked about, him and his boyfriend, him finding out about Ralph, them being in a transaction with him to, go see a show because he needs some help with, seat filling, him talking about, asking about, like, what went on in Westview, the Billy the Tommy incident, like how they end up in the hex, how Wanda that helped phase into Ralph's mind, how Agatha also was mind controlling him. He went crazy a bit after the events, was still resentful over playing a ridiculous uncle in his best, and of course poisoning Sparky, which was by proxy through Agatha, because again, Agatha being the wicked witch of Westview, she was all like, I got you my pretty little dog too, which of course by proxy through him. He ends up mentioning about Agatha, which then brought Billy up to doing research on Agatha. We found out that she was in 1912 during the Titanic. She was also apparently Jolene, who's also was involved in the Hindenburg incident. And this research briefly brought Billy to Westview, which starts the events of the first episode. In which the interrogation scene is firmly was actually this reality. So he's sitting there trying to figure out like what's going to occur and why he's asking himself, and so we get to the point to and I would say honestly that I feel like both go together. Like this is basically just another layer into WandaVision itself because it's a secondary chapter. Yeah, yeah. Getting to that, that's to me part 7. Still in part 6. Yep,